Welcome back. Lafarge Africa plc, the continent's second biggest producer of cement, plans to cut debt in the next 2 years as it seeks to boost profit before resuming expansion. The company expects its leverage ratio, which measures the level of debt incurred by a business against its assets, to drop to between 60% and 70% over the next 18 months from more than 100%. It sees earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization more tolerable at about $200 million this year. The African unit of Switzerland-based Lafarge Homes wants to take advantage of improvements in the Nigerian economy and a recovery in South Africa to expand and boost profit. And South Africa's Tiger brand is reporting a 16% drop in half-year earnings due to a recall of cold meat products in response to a listeria outbreak. The country's biggest food producer suspended production at its Polokwane, Grimston, Pretoria, and Clayville sites in March. The 4 sites produced polony and other cold meats that were linked to outbreak of the disease that has killed 200 people since early 2017. The closure of the cold meat facilities weighed on the business, with revenue falling by 9% and operating income plunging by 78% to 13 million rand. And Nigeria has signed a memorandum of understanding with the African Risk Capacity, opening the way for the country to draw down from a special sovereign disaster risk fund created by the African Union. The agreement signed by the Finance Minister, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, at the ongoing annual meetings of the African Development Bank in South Korea sets out the framework for cooperation between Nigeria and the AU agency looking to address the impact of extreme weather events in Nigeria. The disaster fund, created in 2014, has disbursed some $36 million to countries affected by drought. These countries include Malawi, Mauritania, Niger, and Senegal. Nigeria is a founding member of the African Risk Capacity Insurance Company, who has now formally joined the risk pools, having put in place peer-reviewed contingency plans which facilitate fast response to disasters. The African Export-Import Bank has been speaking to investors, trade finance banks, and other institutions in the value chain about the first ever intra-African trade fair scheduled for Cairo, Egypt in December. Afrexim President Dr. Benedict Orama explained at a breakfast meeting on the sidelines of the African Development Bank meeting in Busan, South Korea, why cross-border trade is the next game changer.
Any African trader that wants to go into international business looks up to Asia, looks up to Europe as market. They do not look across the border. And that is why we've seen so many ridiculous things happening. In a study we conducted together with UNCTAD, we found that South Africa imports leather from India at a price which is double the price at which Ethiopia exports the same input to the world. Mauritius and Nigeria globally import leather goods from Italy and Belgium at a much higher cost as compared to what South Africa and Botswana exports globally. Kenya imports raw hides from New Zealand, while Burundi exports the same to the world at a much lower price. And you can repeat these kinds of absurdities over and over again. We reckon that the problem of managing 55 countries, conducting trade among 55 countries, divided by a colonial past that diverted trade from the colonies to the metropolis, that prohibited interactions across borders, that will require a strategic move. That will require bold actions. And that is why one of the instruments the African Union wants to use to promote intra-regional trade and the CFTA is through the organization of trade fairs, Intra-African trade fairs. That is why Afreximbank, which is itself championing intra-African trade promotion, has identified the use of intra-African trade fairs as a way of facilitating the flow of information within Africa concerning opportunities for intra-African trade. So Afreximbank and the African Union, as well as the Egyptian government, have decided and have now put in place arrangements to host the first intra-African trade fair, the first of its kind. The plan is to hold it in December this year. But the trade fair will be held once every 2 years around African countries. Being a debut trade fair, we are determined to make sure that it becomes a very important expo, a very important instrument for moving forward with the goals of the Continental Free Trade Area. Afreximbank, the AU, and the Egyptian government have been joined by the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the Islamic Development Bank through the Islamic Trade Finance Company, the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industries, the World Trade Center, Miami, and the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industries as partners to advance our goal of holding this fair. This morning, we decided to take advantage of the annual meetings of the African Development Bank, the bank that founded Afreximbank, a bank that shares the same objective, that has amongst its high fives the integration of Africa. We decided to use the opportunity to highlight what we are planning to do in the coming months.
And finally, Kenya plans to overhaul a legislation governing its financial sector by creating new agencies that regulate the cost of credit and protect consumers. The Financial Markets Conduct Bill seeks to promote a fair, non-discriminatory marketplace for access to credit, to provide for the establishment of uniform practices and standards, and also establish the Financial Markets Conduct Authority, the Financial Sector Ombudsman, and the Financial Sector Tribunal. And that's it on the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimezi Ubi.